Hi guys, how are you today? So, first of all, I hope everyone is doing well. Second of all, I wanted to answer some folk questions about the Black Lives Matter organization. And I know in my news feed there's been a lot of discussion as to who is funding them, who isn't funding them, and all this other discussion. So, as promised, I told you guys I would do the research and I'll get back to you. And I did just that. I did my research, and it was a research that took like 3 days. So do forgive me when I don't get back to you guys like fast. It's only because I want to make sure I have some solid information. I just don't want to report nonsense to you guys. So again, I asked the question, I think I asked two questions. And the first one was, is Black Lives Matter a tax-exempt organization? So the answer to that question is no. They are not tax-exempt. In fact, when you donate to them, you're not donating directly in their pockets. You know, you're donating to an organization called International Development Exchange. Their website is www.idex.org. They are an organization that is the fiscal sponsor of Black Lives Matter. And what that means is pretty much when you are a fiscal sponsor, you're a sponsor of an organization or grassroots leadership that does not have a tax-exempt status, so they cannot take donations because they have no status, no tax-exempt status from the IRS. Like, I am a tax-exempt organization. I can get donations, and I do get donations into my organization. But nonetheless, a fiscal sponsor allows a person who doesn't have the tax-exempt status to be able to receive donations. And here's the thing that is iffy about some fiscal sponsorships. I'm going to read something to you. I have my computer up with split screen, so if my eyes are going somewhere else, it's only because I'm trying to read directly to you. So in a nutshell, with the fiscal sponsor agency, they receive the money in, and they're able to charge the organization that they're receiving the money in for an administrative fee for its services, which is usually like a percentage of the money they bring in. Also, here's really important for us to know. Using a fiscal sponsor, it definitely satisfies the IRS requirements. But here's the caveat. As long as the fiscal sponsor maintains the right to decide at its own discretion how it will use contributions. Maintaining control over the donated funds is a requirement of a legitimate fiscal sponsor arrangement. So while you guys are out there going to the website and you're donating from their website or other avenues where they solicit donations, and you're saying, I'm donating to the organization Black Lives Matter, yeah, you are, but not directly. You're actually donating to their fiscal sponsor organization, who then can choose how they're going to use the funds and distribute the contributions. So we don't know how much money they're giving Black Lives Matter, but we do know that they are receiving their their donations. So another question you guys, well, not a question, some accusations people have out there is that the philanthropist, Mr. Soros, is, first of all, he's not Hispanic. He's Hungarian Jewish descent. He's not Hispanic. But they're saying that he gave $33 million to Black Lives Matter. No, he did not directly give Black Lives Matter money. How do I know? Because I have his tax documents too. Like, these are the tax documents. So this is for, can you see that? This is for the International Development Exchange. I mean, papers are all over my desk where I pulled up George Soros Foundation online. First of all, this dude's money is sick. You hear me? Let me tell you how much money his organization brings in. And this is just one of his organizations. Oh my gosh, like these numbers, I had to count the digits. 4 billion. So investments was 4,895,354,856. Oh, damn. And that's what his foundation is. But then when you have that kind of money, you have to lists all the grantees, the people that you gave money to, and Black Lives Matter isn't an organization on there, and neither is International Development Exchange, because Black Lives Matter, like I told you, they can't receive the money. They're not a 501c3, and as far as the International Development Exchange, they're not on this tax document. He has 2 other organizations as well, and again, these organizations, they're making a killing. Like, some of them are 900 and some are $1 million. This one is $4 billion. We have, whoever said nonprofits are broke, you don't know what you're talking about. That's what I mean when I say you don't understand money. Watch some of the things that you say, because you can really bankroll off a nonprofit if your donations are right. $4 billion nonprofit, his donations are right. You feel me? But anyway, going on back to Black Lives Matter. So here's another thing. People have a lot of discussions out there with who are Black Lives Matters, and everyone knows them from when Trayvon Martin, God bless his soul, passed away, and that's when the movement really started. So that's when everyone knows them. I think that started off in 2013 when they started. Yes, in 2013 they started. So it started by 3 queer Black women, and that's how they identify themselves. So I'm not calling them queer. That's how they identify themselves on their website. I went through every page on their website. You're more than happy to do that yourself. But nonetheless, I'm going to read to you guys a little something on their website that identifies who they are. It says, Black Lives Matter is a unique contribution that goes beyond extrajudicial killings of Black people by police and vigilantes. It goes beyond the narrow nationalism that can be prevalent within some Black communities, which merely call on Black people to love Black, live Black, and buy Black, keeping straight cis Black men in front of the movement, while our sisters, queer and trans and disabled folk, take up roles in the background or not at all. Black Lives Matter affirms the lives of Black queer and trans folks, disabled folks, Black undocumented folks, folks with records, women, and all Black lives along the gender spectrum. It centers those that have been marginalized within Black liberation movements, and it is a tactic to rebuild the Black liberation movement. So if you're wondering what straight cis Black men are, those are Black men who are straight and who identify with the sex that they were born. They identify with being a man. So that's what that is. And lastly, and I'm going to let you guys go, I went to their principles, and I wanted to know more about them because everyone is out here, and you know, the hashtag is awesome, Black Lives Matter. We know Black Lives Matter. We're not saying that all lives don't matter, because we truly do know all lives matter, but we're talking about Black lives and the treatment that we get as Black people. I get that. But I'm talking about Black Lives Matter, the organization, okay? The organization, the network. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the hashtag. The hashtag is dope, and we all apply, or we all can relate to the hashtag. I'm just talking about the organization in itself. So they're ruled by 13 guiding principles. You guys can go to their website, blacklivesmatter.com, and you can look up this stuff yourself. Don't take my word for it, but go out there and do your own research. But I go out there and I see some of their principles, and like, for example, their collective value says we are guided by the fact all Black lives, regardless of actual or perceived sexual identity, gender expression, economic status, ability, disability, religious beliefs or disbeliefs, immigration status, or location. It's like a typo, not a typo, but they're missing a word to complete this sentence in this core principle. I believe they're saying we are guided by the fact that all Black lives matter, regardless of, they left off the word matter, so that's what I deduct from that. But nonetheless, they are gender affirming. We are committed to embracing and making space for trans brothers and sisters to participate and lead. We are committed to being reflexive, and doing the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege and uplift Black trans folk, especially Black trans women, who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. So trans is transgender, for those of you who don't know. So that means when they're talking about Black trans women, that's like women who, they're transgender, they may identify as being a man, or Black trans men are men who identify with being a woman. And it says to dismantle cisgender privilege. So what is cis, C-I-S, cisgender privilege? Cis is how people who identify as the sex that they were born. Like, I'm a woman, I identify as a woman, And I identify with my ovaries, my uterus, my womb, my vagina. I identify with these things. This is who I am. And I know that we have social construction, social constructs, and it's where I get it. But I was born a female, and I identified as a female, as a woman. That's just who I am. So they're saying they're doing the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege. And I guess like one of the cisgender privileges that we have is bathrooms that are divided by sexes, men, women, and basically someone who wants to dismantle that is basically saying, this is just an example, I'm not saying this is what they're saying, I'm giving you an example, would be like saying how I believe that if I am a transgender woman, I was born a woman, I was born a man, but or the opposite, I'm sorry. What I'm saying is, if I decide that I want to be a man, I should be able to go into a men's bathroom because that's how I identify. That's basically what they're saying. So they want to dismantle those kind of privileges. So this group, we do see them in the forefront of killings like Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, Eric Gardner, Philando. We see them in the forefront of that, but you have to understand what their guiding principles are. You have to understand what they're coming together. Yeah, they're coming together to do that, but they also want to dismantle cisgender privileges, and they want to make way for transgender female and men. So that is part of their mission and their values. And this is not about judgment or anything. This is just me putting out there what they are. I don't care how they choose to do it either way. I just wanted to get back to what I was hearing out there from some of my followers. So again, 3 women who identify as queer black women started Black Lives Matter. I don't have any proof so far that they've gotten money from George Soros foundations. I've seen a lot of foundations who have gotten it, but not theirs. They're not tax exempt. An organization called International Development Exchange takes their donations and disperse the money, and they are a fiscal sponsor agency for them. So yeah, that's how you have it. Decide what you want to do with it. Decide if you're going to continue to support, march with them. It doesn't matter. That's for you to decide. I'm just simply here delivering information to you guys about what they are about. You could read their website, go and do their website. You could do your own research. I've done mine deeply. But again, that's who I am. You can also look at the other organizations that they ally with, like the Asian Pacific Economic Network. Not One More Deportation. That's about immigration. Look at the other agencies that they partner with. So, and I didn't see any of those people getting money from Soros either. He does support the trans community. He does support Afghanistan. Nonprofits in Afghanistan, Israel, all over, Czech Republic. This guy has $4 billion. But I don't see it linked to Black Lives Matter or International Development Exchange. And I'm not saying that it's never happened, but it's not on the records I came across. So it's a lot of assumptions that people are making, but as of right now, it's unfounded. So I hope this answers you guys. Get out there and donate. Not donate. Get out there and open Black-owned bank accounts. Accounts with Black-owned banks. Get out there and make sure we get this economic movement continuously going and more people transferring their money from big commercial banks into Black-owned banks. We have $1 billion goal for Black-owned banks to reach. Each and every one of them need to reach $1 billion goal, so we can start making changes and being up in this real fight, because we know these folk care about money. So until next time, keep it moving. I love you guys. Stay strong. Peace.